would welcome you all to the world of Rift 2.3 and free to play. I know I haven't been that active on my website in the past couple years. A lot of real life stuff intervened. I had some huge plans for it, and I'm hoping to get back into that again. So, wanted to start out with an updated new player's guide. And the first thing that I want to touch on is some of the stuff, the differences between the patrons, those who are playing subs, and those who aren't paying subs, the regular free-to-pay players. The patrons get bonuses as far as experience and mount speeds. They get like daily gifts. If I remember correctly, they get like a small amount of credits, which credits you use in the in-game store to buy stuff every month. But it is nothing that it would make it pay to win in any way, shape, or form. It's all convenience that the patrons get. They get put a hidden queues for logging into the game. That does not apply for dungeons or raids or anything else. That's strictly to log into the game. My advice on whether to sub or not: if you've got the money and you don't mind supporting the developers, it's definitely worth it, especially when you're leveling up, to use that. Sub for, a month while you're leveling up your characters, and bam, you get increased mount speeds, you get increased experience, you get experience pots that you can use. I mean, all types of stuff, man. It's pretty awesome. Something else that happens when you are a patron, when you sub, you get access to the auction house to be able to sell items. Now, thing with the auction house, and a problem a lot of people are having, is that as a free player, without putting any money into the game, you can access the auction house to buy stuff, but you cannot sell anything on it. There is a very good reason for this, people. Besides Treon wanting, some money. I mean, they've got a valid reason for this. What that does is that keeps bots from being able to list crap on the auction houses without investing in the game to some extent. It's basically a hurdle that they have to go through to be able to do their gold farming and or platinum farming, as it is in Rifts, and such like that. And it eliminates a lot of the bots and plat sellers from being able to do their business, because they don't want to invest that money for umpteen accounts. So it's a bot deterrent. It's a platformer deterrent. It's a good thing, people. If you want to be able to sell stuff on the auction house, I believe it's like $5 worth of credits is all you have to buy in the store. If you like the game, you're going to end up spending $5 on it anyway to buy stuff. I mean, the store itself, I'm going to show that to you. It's pretty insane. Ooh, my daily gift. Ooh, I like that tiger mount. That's pretty awesome. I really like that tiger mount. Alright, so the in-game store has tons of stuff, man. Some of you might be wondering if it's pay to win. Well, let's go ahead and see. Alright, let's go to weapons, because that's the thing everybody's going to be looking at. What do they got? Level 19, level 19, level 19, level 20, level 20. Looks like it's only showing stuff for my range. So, mage 12 to 21. Well, let's get rid of that and open up everything. And let's go to let's see. Let's try premium. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to the top end gear. Stuff that's the most expensive. And guess what? Level 48, 50, 50, 48, 48, 48. Now, if you notice, none of this stuff that I'm showing you right now is bought with credits. It's all bought with currency that you actually have to go out and get with your character in game. It's not credits. All of this. Okay, let's look at the credit stuff. Here we go. Level 60. Okay, it can be upgraded. Yada, yada, yada. You can buy it with credits. You can buy it with in-game currency. But here's the kicker. It's not an epic. It's a blue level 60 item. It's not in-game gear. Alright? It's like dungeon gear. You know? I mean, it's not in-game gear. It is not going to make you be able to blow through in-game stuff. All of this is stuff that you can get in the game yourself fairly easily. You look at these. Reinforce. Oh, that one's pretty nice. But what's its costing? Frozen Eclipse Stones. 15,000 Frozen Eclipse Stones. This is all stuff that you have to get in game with your character. You can't buy Eclipse Stones in the market off the in-game store. You have to earn them in game. The stuff that you can buy with credits is like level 60 dungeon gear. It's not raid gear. It's dungeon gear. Alright? All it's doing is saving you some time. And you can do that for different levels as you're leveling up. Like if I wanted, I could pick up this staff right now, which is looking compared to the one that I have, it blows it away. But why would I? I'd be replacing that one instead of replacing the staff that I have in like 4 or 5 levels. I'd be replacing it in 8. I mean, it's not even worth it. Especially when I could craft a staff using in-game mats and keep up just as well. I mean, it's not worth it buying the lower level gear with your credits. But to get back to what I was saying, you go here and you've got all this stuff for 1,500. Black Riding Tiger is 1,000. I mean, you got a Riding Behemoth. 1,500 for an Ice Strider mount. Buying that count. They've got good stuff for the 1,500 credits that you would have to buy to be able to sell stuff on the auction house. So it's not a big deal, and you get your money's worth from it. The next thing that I want to talk about is some tips for the new players. Besides, now that we've covered that a lot of people seem to have problems with for some reason. Let's get into the meat of the tips. First thing that I want to cover is your UI. Your UI is fully customizable. You go to your options, which is your escape key, go to edit layout, everything pops up. Every box on here you can move, resize, change, everything. Now this is only the essential UI elements. If I get rid of that, you got a whole bunch of stuff that shows up that you can move around, change, modify, however you want to do. Set it up however you want, because my UI is not stock. It's not standard that beginner players have. I've totally modified it the way that I want to what I used to use in some other MMOs. Now a nice option that I do like with Rift is you can go to save your layout. Alright, you save your layout. What you can do, you can go to import, and guess what, I can import key bindings, layout, macros, chat settings, game settings, miscellaneous settings from any of my other characters onto this character and vice versa. So you're creating a new tune, right? You got a new character that you want to try out playing for a while, yet you're dreading having to set up your UI for it, right? It's simple. You choose your new character, you pop in the game. Before you even take your first step, first thing you do, you hit escape, go to import, and click all these. Bam, 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 bam. And then you click the import button after you've chosen like your main character that you used to their UI. Choose that, hit import, everything changes. Just like that. You got it's like everything changes. Alright. Real simple, real easy thing to do. Another thing, and I advise all new players do this. It's very important. You go to your options again. Go to settings. Go to interface. And where is it? Go to combat. And you see right here, PvP auto flag. Default is on. You want to unclick that. Turn it off. Because what happens is you might not initiate PvP with any flag players at all. You're careful not to do that because you don't want that to happen to you. Yet you go and you're fighting in a rift or a zone invasion. and all of a sudden they got some yellow name players running around, of the opposite faction. They're flagged for PvP. You use an AoE. You heal somebody on your side that has PvP flagged on accident. Or your healer got flagged, and then they healed you. Now you're flagged. What you do is you tick that off, and you don't have to worry about any of that, man. You're not going to get ganked by a level 50 or level 60 of the opposing faction coming into a low-level zone and doing invasions for the strict purpose of trying to gank newbies. It ain't going to happen. You don't have to worry about it. You can go on your merry way laughing out, you suckers, I didn't fall for that crap. That's very important, man. Y'all need to take care of that. And also the interface, you got tons of things you can do. Names, nameplate colors, help, action bars, how many action bars you want, side action bars, ability queues, how you want to set all that up. Where is... It might not be in here. Miscellaneous. It might be... Yeah, enable AoE looting, auto loot by default. Those are good ones to have. The rest of these you can modify on your own. Now, I believe that it is in key bindings, possibly. No, it's not. Alright, cancel. There is an option somewhere to where you can change how your hotkeys react to you pressing numbers. By default, they're set to go off on release. In other words, you press, say, your 2 button, and what happens is it doesn't go off until you release the 2 button back up. You can change that to activate on press, so that it happens when you press it down instead of when you release it. It's a little bit more reactionary that way and more typical to most MMOs. There's also a skill queue in the game to where you can queue up abilities. You can press one and then go on ahead and press another one, and it'll happen. Like, I just cast this and I went to cast it again, and it's queued up. It's in the middle of my hotkeys right there, and it'll go off when it's ready again, so I don't have to keep pressing it. And that works out good, especially if you got a rotation going. You can press a key once instead of having to spam 55555. You press it once to activate it, again for it to happen, then you wait for the ability to happen, then you press. It just keeps you from having to jam down buttons all the time. Some other tips that I was going to give y'all, besides UI and such, the map. The map is very important in this game. What you can see here is you can see quest hubs. You can see where I have my quest at. You've got stars that show you specific quest objectives that are a point quest objective, whether that point is killing a specific named mob or retrieving an item or whatever. It'll show you that as these little rotating stars here. And the area objectives, where you can find mobs at and such like that, are these circles to go to. Really helps you out. Your quest hubs will always be kind of these little star wagon wheel type deals. And the way the quests work is you get a whole bunch at once, and they'll all be in the same general area in this game. It's not like WoW and stuff that'll have you go into 15 different areas of a zone. They'll all be in the same area of the zone when you get all your quests. The green arrows here are the not warp gates, but they're like little teleportation gateways. That's what the green ones are. As soon as you get into a zone and you see one of those, you want to go click on the little gatekeeper guy that tunes you to it, so that you can then use that place. For the Defiance, the first one that you run into will be right here at the Arc of the Ascended when you're around level 5 or 6. After you get out of the real newbie zone, that's like you breeze through it. This is the first place you're going to wind up. Go over there, click on him. You don't have any place else to travel to yet, but it makes it easier for getting to this side of the zone. These markers here tell you the area names, That area is called Regent's Cove. This area down here is Seastone Bluff. You know, see how that goes. You also got the levels for the zone here. Unfortunately, I don't see any no one has an invasion going on right now, which is really, really strange. And we don't have any rifts in the lower section where I'm at. Well, this kind of bites. I was hoping to show y'all a rift, but nothing's going on. Alright, these footholds. The footholds always appear like this. This is a Guardian foothold. They're NPCs that you can go and kill. They also tie into some daily quests that you can get. If it would be, say, a water foothold or a fire foothold, it would be red or blue or green or black or whatever to signify whatever element that foothold is with. So that's the basics of the map. Pretty simple to figure out, to do. And next I want to cover the soul tree. Quick thing about the soul tree. You do not have to use the presets. The presets, the first thing, when you make your character, they made you choose a preset. You do not have to use those. Alright? You can avoid using them. What you do is you get to the screen, you made your character, you're in game, yet you don't have any skill points yet. Go to that screen and close that out, and then you will see the 3 choices that you have for your souls and everything with them. And then you can customize it. What you do is you go and you click on the center, and guess what? You can pick any soul to put in there. Now, if you can only do that if you have no points spent in that soul yet. Once you have points spent, guess what? You can't change it. It'll let you preview it, but you can't change it. See? It goes automatically back. So, that's how you can customize your builds without using the presets. The presets are there to help you when you first get into the game and you're trying to figure things out, so that you don't have to worry about placing skill points. And the presets are generally decent, especially at the beginning of the game and learning what's going on. They're decent. I mean, they're not horrible like some games. They're decent builds. Like the build that I'm using right now is basically one of the presets, except I changed in Stormcaller for whatever they had there. I forget what it was. And it's basically one of the presets. It would be a Warlock or a Necro from most other games. Dots with a tank summon to help you out type deal. You know, a lot of death magic type stuff. And something else that you can do is rolls. Now you see, I don't have any other rolls on here. I only have one roll. What you can do is you can buy more rolls from your trainer. Trainers can be found in the main city, the capital city, for Guardians and Defiance. So you go there and you buy your rolls. The first few rolls will be fairly cheap. I think the first one's like 30. So you would have 2 rolls, and you can switch those out on the fly as you need to. If I was to have another roll here, I just go on rolls, click it to choose that roll, and it'll come up showing me what that roll is. And then over here where the close button is, it would activate. I activate it, takes like 5-10 seconds. Bam, it's activated, and I'm rolling with it. You know, and you can have, I think on my main tune, who's a rogue, I've got six different rolls on my rogue. Yeah, so you can have a lot, man, and switch on the fly. And that's one of the things about this game, especially when you get into group content. When you start doing dungeons, you start doing raids, you start doing instant adventures, all these different things, is that being flexible and being able to switch on the fly is key to a lot of fights. You know, you might have one fight where you need heavy single target DPS, and the next fight you need heavy AoE DPS to take care of ads. You know, and you could do that. Bam, bam, bam. Switch them on and off. Maybe this next fight they need a little extra healing, and you're rolling. You know, you're a rogue, and you got a bard tactician build. That's a support build. A lot of buffs, and extra support healing, bam, you switch into that, and now you're cranking out, a flamethrower of heal with little robots that are healing, and you're doing bard stuff, singing songs, giving buffs and all types of stuff. You gotta be flexible, be able to do that on the fly, man. Maybe you're in a 5-man, you got a weak healer, you got a weak tank, and I'm talking about roguelike because that is my main. You got a weak tank, you go on ahead and switch up to a tank spec to kind of help them out a little bit. Or maybe you switch up to more of a bard support build, to help them out. Because other DPS are doing phenomenal. They can stand to lose a little bit to help out the tank and the healer as needed. You gotta be flexible. You gotta be able to change things up. And that's a really important thing about this game. Another thing is your little action bars up here. Your abilities, achievements, crafting, all that stuff. Check all these out and see what's going on with them. And then you've got dimensions. I'm going to show you mine real quick. Dimensions is like player housing. You get to it by hitting the let me show you here real quick. By hitting that key right there at the bottom, right here. That's how you get to it. I forget what that's called, but that's how you get to it. And this thing will pop up. You'll get your first dimension around level 6, 7, or 8, something like that, depending upon how fast you level. And when you get there, and to get to it's quite simple. You just hit that key, go here, and click on the icon, and it'll transport you there automatically. Bam, you are good to go. Now, the dimension is yours. You can build it however you want. You can either buy the dimension items. I don't have any in my dimension yet, by the way. I haven't done anything with it. Or, ooh, it's a wall, can't go any further. It's a little small. Or you can get some from fishing. Some will drop from mobs. Different things like that. So there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can get them. And you just basically build and customize your dimension however you want. I mean, they got tons of items that you can get. Wood planks, furniture, towers, fountains. I mean, if you can think of it, you can build it. If any of you have played Neverwinter and messed around in the Foundry, guess what? The dimension is just like being in detail view on the Foundry, man. 3D edit view. That's what dimensions are. It's just like that. So, with a hell of a lot more items than they got in the Foundry, by the way. So to exit it, you got a little button over here in your taskbar that says leave. You click it, and it'll take you right back to where you were when you left. Pretty simple and easy. And the dimensions, you can keep them private or you can make them public. I'll show you some. They got, you can look at your alts, you can look at your friends. You got weekly and all time, and they're rated. People giving them +1s, to check them out, to see what they're like. So you can do that. I'm on Fabelite, so a lot of like the Excelsior roleplay, that's like an inn and stuff like that. A lot of people roleplay there. Comfy Island Home roleplay. A lot of people roleplay there. So we got a whole bunch of roleplay stuff, and that's where most of the roleplay happens on Fabelite. I know a lot of you might not be interested in them, but some people are, and that's where the majority of the roleplay happens on Fabelite, is in the dimensions. So be sure to check those out if that's what you're interested in. But I think I'm going to tie this up for now. Those are just some quick tips to help get you kind of into the game and find out what's going on. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be making more during the next few weeks. Going more in depth on some leveling builds for wizards and rogues, as well as going more in depth on invasions. I know that's confusing to a lot of you. What's going on? Got all these guys running around that we gotta kill, and people are making impromptu raids, and what the hell? It's fun, but I don't have a clue what's going on. I'm gonna fill you in. Sad, you know what's going on. Sad, you can conquer those invasions like a pro. So I'll see y'all later. Take it easy. Goodbye.